Hello friends, in today's lab we are going to see how to configure AWS Transit Gateway with multiple routing tables. So for this lab we are going to choose US East 1 region. So in US East 1 region we are going to configure 3 VPCs. One is prod VPC, non-prod VPC and dev VPC. So in prod VPC we are going to configure one subnet. It is public subnet, and we're going to take one VM which can be accessible through the internet. So we're going to attach one internet gateway to this VPC to access this prod VM, and this is relevant routing table of this subnet. So in non-prod VPC we are going to take one private subnet. In private subnet we'll launch one VM, non-prod VM. So this is the relevant routing table of private subnet. And this is dev VPC. In dev VPC we are going to take private subnet. So in dev VPC we are going to launch one VM. It is dev VM, and this is the relevant routing table of private subnet. So this is AWS Transit Gateway. So in AWS Transit Gateway we're going to configure 3 routing tables: routing table A, routing table B, routing table C. So in routing table A we are going to create routes towards non-prod and dev. In routing table B, there is only one route towards prod VPC, and routing table C also contains only one route towards prod VPC. So let's see how will be the traffic flow here. So whenever traffic coming from the prod VPC, it will hit the route table A, and from the non-prod VPC, it will hit the route table B, and dev VPC will hit the route table C. So if prod VPC wants to talk other 2 VPCs, first it will reach the route table A, as it contains 2 routes towards non-prod and dev VPC. So it can reach non-prod VPC and dev VPC. So whenever traffic coming from the non-prod VPC, it will hit the route table B, right? So there we have only prod VPC attachment. So we have route towards only prod VPC. So it can communicate only towards prod VPC. So whenever dev VPC wants to talk to other VPCs, first it will come the traffic towards route table C, and route table contains only one route towards prod VPC. So it can reach only prod VPC. So if we compare all the routes, it will be like this. It is from the prod VPC. It contains 2 routes, so it can reach 2 other VPCs. So whenever traffic coming from the prod VPC, it will hit the route table B. It contains only one route, so it can reach only prod VPC. Similar way, dev VPC follows the route table C, so it is also contains only route towards prod, so it can reach only prod. So if you wants to check the communication between non-prod VPC to dev VPC, it won't work, because there is no relevant routing table. If you would like to, for example, prod VPC wants to talk to dev VPC, first it will hit the route table B, right? So route table B doesn't contain dev VPC attachment, so there is no communication possible. Similarly, whenever traffic coming from the dev VPC towards prod VPC, it will hit the route table C, and there is no route towards non-prod VPC, so it is also not possible. So before jumping into AWS console, let's see what are the steps we are going to follow during this lab. So first we'll create VPCs, then subnets, then VPC routing tables, and we'll associate these subnets with these routing tables, and transit gateway creation. Then we'll create transit gateway routing tables. Then we'll create transit gateway attachments, which is useful to communicate with these VPCs. Then we'll associate these gateway attachments with the respective routing tables. And finally we'll create VMs. Then we'll modify the VPC routing tables as per our request. Okay, so as per our network architecture, we'll modify the routing tables. Finally we will check whether it is working fine or not. Okay, so let's jump into our console now. So this is our AWS console. I'm in US East 1 region. So let me go to VPC, click on your VPCs, create VPC, just give the name as prod VPC, CIDR 10.10.0.0/16, click on create VPC. So let me create other two VPCs as well. So this is non-prod VPC, the CIDR 10.11.0.0/16, click on create VPC. So let me create dev VPC as well. So the CIDR 10.12.0.0/16, click on create VPC. So if you click on your VPCs, so now the three VPCs are ready. One is prod, non-prod, dev. So let me go back to menu and select subnets. Let's create public subnet in prod VPC. Select the VPC ID here. This is public subnet. And for identification purpose, just I'm giving prod VPC, public subnet prod VPC. Select the zone 10.10.0.0/24. So create subnet. So let me create other subnets as well. So this is for non-prod VPC. This is private subnet. Select the zone. And this is 10.11.0.0/24. Click on create subnet. So let me create another subnet as well for dev VPC. Select dev VPC here, and this is also private subnet for dev VPC. Select the zone, and 10.12.0.0/24 is a subnet for this. Subnet, create subnet. Clear the filters. Here you can see three subnets are created now. So if we check the steps, first we have created VPCs and subnets. Now let's create these routing tables, VPC routing tables and association. So this is our console, and go to VPCs and route tables. By default there are route tables for each and every VPC, so we can use the same. Otherwise we can create the separate routing table as well. So in this case I would like to use the same routing table. So this is, if you observe, so we are unable to identify which routing table is related to which by seeing this routing ID, right? So if you go here, you can see the names, relevant names here: dev VPC, non-prod VPC, prod VPC, right? So let me modify these names as well. Though if you observe, this is for prod VPC, right? Let me click on here and put it as prod VPC route table. Save. Similar way, let me modify the names for other routing table also. Non-prod VPC it is. So this is for dev. So this is done. Now we have the routing tables. Let's associate these subnets, relevant subnet. So let me click on this route table and check the routes and subnet association. By default, if you do not assign any route table for these subnets, by default it follows the default routing table only, but let me associate it. Click on edit association, click on this public prod save association. This is we attach it to main routing table only. So you can see this explicitly, we have associated this subnet to this routing table. So similar like non-prod VPC, create subnet association, edit association, and select the relevant non-prod VPC. Similarly, let's go to dev VPC routing table and subnet association, edit subnet associations, and select the dev VPC. So now we have associated all our subnets with the relevant routing tables. So let's check the routes, which are the routes available in each and every routing tables. If you observe, there is only one route. This is only local route available. And if you see here also we have local route. So this is for dev routes. So these are the routes available here. Let's go back to our steps. To here it is completed. Let me create transit gateway and transit gateway routing tables. Let's jump into our console now. So if you select VPC, here you can see transit gateways. Click on transit gateway. So click on create transit gateway. You can give the name as network console. Console TGW transit gateway. So just create transit gateway. So transit gateway is getting created. We need to wait for some time to change the status. Still it is in pending state. Let me pause the video once it is available. So I will resume it. So it is available now. Almost it took 2 minutes to come up. Status is available now. So let me check the routing table. So transit gateway route table. Already one default route table is there, but just I don't want to use this. Let me create three separate route tables. Route table A, transit gateway ID is this one. Just click on create route table. So let me create another two route tables as well. Route table B, select the transit gateway, create. Then create another route table. Route table C, select the transit gateway, create. So if we clear the filter, you can see 4 routing tables, but this is a default routing tables which we are not going to use now. So let me do like this so that we can see all our routing tables on top. So let me try to delete this default route table which is not required in our case. So it is throwing some error. It is set as a default association route table for this one, so we cannot delete it. So let it be. So, but we are not using this, but we have another routing tables. We'll associate our attachments with this. Okay. So now 3 route tables are available now. Let's go to transit gateway and create our attachments. Click on attachments, create attachment. So this is the name. So this is prod VPC attachment. This is for prod VPC. So transit gateway, I'm selecting our transit gateway, and VPC attachment, actually attachment type is VPC here. So in the last session we saw how to create peering and all. So peering we have verified, right? So this is for VPC in this case. So just select the relevant VPC ID here. This is for prod VPC. We have only one subnet, right? It got selected already. So create attachment. So similarly, let's create another two attachments. This is for non-prod. Non-prod VPC attachment. Non-prod attachment. Select the transit gateway ID, and this is type is VPC. Select the VPC ID here. Right. Everything is good. Create attachment. And let me create another attachment for dev VPC. Dev attachment. Select the relevant VPC ID. Click on create attachment. Create. So we have created transit gateway attachments. Let's clear the filter so that you can see all the three attachments. Still the status is showing us pending. Let's wait for some more time. So once it is available, I will resume it. So now the three attachments are available. Let's go back to transit gateway route table. Let's associate it with this respective route tables. So click on association, create association. So attachment, let's take prod VPC attachment, and I'm associating with this route table A, but it is throwing some error. There's an error creating a transit gateway route table association because it is already associated to a route table. So we have default route table, right? So it is already associated with that route table, this one. So let me try to deassociate from there, then we can reassociate with this route table A. Let me select default route table and click on associations. Let me remove these. Let me try to remove multiple. No, there is no option. So let me remove one by one. Delete association. So here you can observe it is disassociating. So let me delete association for other two as well. So still it is dissociating. So let's wait for some more time. Once it is available, once it is completely deassociated from these routing tables, from this routing table, so I will resume the video. Okay. So it did not take much time. It is completely not available from these associations. So let me go back to route table A and try to associate this prod attachment. Click on association, create association, and this is for prod. Click on create association. It is done. So let me select another routing table, route table B. Click on association, create association. This is for non-prod VPC, create association. Similar way, let's create route table C association. So create association, select dev VPC attachment. So now the association is completed. So whenever traffic coming from the prod VPC, it follows route table A, and whenever traffic coming from the non-prod VPC, it follows route table B. C, the routing table C is for dev VPC. So let's check the routes. So what are the routes available in these routing tables? So let's select one routing table. So this is route table A, and if you select association, it shows which is associated with this route table, just click on propagations. No propagations are created. Let's check the routes. No routes are available now. So let me actually, we can do it in two different ways. We can create static routes towards those VPCs. So otherwise we can propagate which VPC route should be available in this route tables. So in routing table, as per our architecture diagram, so route tables, these are the three route tables, right? Route table A, so we should have a two routes, non-prod and dev. So let me go back to the console and click on propagation, create propagation. Let's select non-prod, create propagation. Let's check the route now. So the non-prod relevant route is available in this route tables. So similar way, let me do one more propagation. This is for dev. Create propagation. So fine, if you select route table, click on propagations, you can see two VPCs are created, attached in the propagations. So we can see two kind of route tables. So one is for non-prod and one is for dev. So as per our architecture, this is ready now. So we have associated with this attachment. Then in route table, we have propagated two attachments. So we can see non-prod VPC route and dev VPC route as well. So let me go back to the console and create the similar way for route table B and route table C as well. So in route table B, let me select route table B and check the association. It is associated with this VPC attachment ID. This is relevant to, let me go back to this. This attachment is related to non-prod VPC, and this route table should contain only prod VPC, right? So let's go back to the console, click on propagation, create propagation, and select prod VPC attachment, create propagation. This is done. So if you go back to the routes and check, so this is towards prod network, we have a route. So similar way, select a route table C and click on propagations, create propagation, and select the prod VPC attachment, create propagation. So why we are using propagations here is because if any changes happens in this CIDRs, it will automatically reflect in this routing table. For example, if they change the CIDR from 11 to 15 like that, so the changes will be reflected here directly, automatically. So this is done now. We have created these three routing tables, and we have a sufficient routes in the routing tables now. So let's go back to our steps. So up to here it is completed. So association of transit gateway attachments with the respective route tables is completed. So now, let's jump into our console again. Let's create the instances now. Let me click on instances, launch instances. So first we'll start with dev. This is related to dev VM. Okay, just let me give the name like this, and just I'm selecting Amazon Linux simply. This is just for testing purpose. So let me create a new key pair. This is for TGW routing, so multiple routing. So I'm just downloading PEM key file, so later if we need we can convert it as a PPK. So that is the reason I'm downloading as a PEM format only. So create key pair, it is downloaded, it will be available in my downloads now. So let me go back here and just select the exact VPC. It is dev VPC. This is selected, and we don't want any public IP here, so I am selecting it as a disable only. So here SSH is already allowed in the network security group. Just along with the SSH, I need ICMP as well for ping purpose. So just click on select allow ICMP all, and the just range just select for anywhere. From anywhere we can ping this. So it seems good now. Let me cross check the details once again. So the name is we have given. Now I think yeah, here it is. So dev VM it is. So Amazon Linux and key pair we have given, and VPC is dev VPC. Subnet it is disabled. Okay, so and it is allowed SSH and ICMP. So I think it seems good now. Just click on launch instance. So it is showing as launch successful. Just go back to instances and just refresh it. So it is available now. So let me click on launch instances and create a VM for non-prod now. So non-prod VM. Select the same Linux machine, and I am taking the same key. This is the one which we have created. And for this one, just I have to modify this as a non-prod VPC and select, and no public IP is needed. And this is for same like rule creation. This is SSH is allowed. Let me allow the ICMP as well. From anywhere, click on launch instance. So as of now, this is only the running instance. So yes, now the two instances are available now. So let me create another instance now. This is for prod VPC, and this should be able to access from internet as well. So let me take it as a prod VM, and also just I'm making it as a jump host. Just I'm giving as a jump host, so that we can take the, I mean, just it is a name, but we use this as a jump host. From here we'll log in into the other two PCs, I mean dev and non-prod as well. So just I'm giving this name as a jump host. Okay, and just for our convenience purpose, just I'm choosing Windows machine. This is fine, and let me select key pair, the same key pair I'm going to use here. Let me click on edit and select it as a prod VPC. This is fine, and we need public IP for this PC because it should be able to reach from internet. This is fine, and we need RDP session only for this. Also, just just to check the connectivity, I can enable ICMP as well. Anyway, so RDP ICMP enable. So I think it seems good. So launch instance. So let me go back to EC2 instances and click on running instances. So it is appeared in running instances now. The status is showing as initializing. Anyway, let's just let me check the public IP of this. This is the public IP. So let me take it. So this is a public IP of this prod VM. So let me copy this private IP as well. Okay, and let me note it down non-prod VM IP as well, and dev VM IP. Okay, let me go back here and click on dev VM. Just copy this IP and paste it in Notepad. We go back to non-prod VM and copy this private IP. Just paste in Notepad for our reference. Now let's go back to our steps. So we have completed up to here now. So just now I'm going to VPC routing tables, and I will modify the routing tables now. Just let me take another session separately. So go to VPC route tables and just select the prod VPC first, routes. So in prod VPC currently we have only one route. So but as per our network architecture diagram, so if you see this, we have multiple routes actually. So default route towards internet gateway and 10/10.00/8 subnet. So for this one we have a route towards transit gateway. So for non-prod VPC, so we have default route towards transit gateway. Here also in dev VPC also we have default route towards transit gateway in the network architecture diagram. So let's follow the same pattern here. Let's go back to lab and select prod VPC first and click on edit routes, add route, default route towards internet gateway. Internet gateway, this is our internet gateway. Save changes and just edit route and another route towards our 10.0.0.0/8 towards transit gateway. This is transit gateway attachment. Save changes. So we have three routes now. This is local route, and this is towards IGW internet gateway, and this is towards just our towards transit gateway. So this is for our VPCs. Okay, so and let me go back to route tables, just modify the non-prod and dev route tables as well. So routes and just edit default route towards transit gateway. Save changes, go back to the route table and select dev one now. Routes, edit route table, add default gateway towards transit gateway. This is relevant transit gateway attachment. Select, save changes. So now let's verify the route tables once again. So just I'm selecting prod VPC now. This is prod VPC. If you click on routes, so let's see the routes. Default route towards IGW, this is towards transit gateway, and this is local route. Okay, so let me go back to this one, non-prod routes. This is local route and default gateway towards transit gateway attachments. So the similar way, dev one, let's check this. So this is default route and this is local route, default route towards transit gateway. So routing table is clear now. Okay, let's try to do RDP to this prod VPC VM. So let me go back to instances and just select prod VM jump host. Still it is showing like initializing. Let me refresh it. Yeah, it is passed now, it is clear. So prod jump host, this is our public IP, and just click on this connect. If you observe here, this is session manager RDP client. So this is showing like connect using RDP connection. So we have username as administrator, but password is showing us get password. So what we have to do here, just like just let me click on here, and it is showing like upload the private key. So just now we have downloaded this key, right? So we have to upload that key here. So and if we decrypt that, we'll get the exact password which we have to use for RDP session. So let me do that. Upload private key. This is the one. Just come downwards, decrypt password. So here is the password, guys. This is a username and this is a password. And you can open the direct RDP session from your machine, and you can enter this public IP as well as username as this administrator. Instead, you can download RDP client as well, I think. So let me, yeah, this is the one. Download the remote desktop file. Once it is downloaded, just click on it. So it will make a RDP session for you. Just click on connect, and it is asking for password directly. So just copy this password and paste here. Click on OK. So it is making connection. So here we go, guys. We are in Windows 7 now. So let's wait for some more time. I will resume video once it is available. So it is completely up now. So let me try to minimize it. And the surprise thing is when I try to ping this public IP, it is not pingable. So by default, I think Windows Mission blocking this traffic. So let me go back to RDP connection. So seems like because of firewall it is not working. So let me go to Windows firewalls here and just let me turn off the firewalls for some time. So as this is testing environment, there is no issue. So let me check now. Yes, it is started pinging now. So because of the firewall settings, it was unable to ping. So anyway, now it is pingable from public. So let me go back to this remote host, close the things. So this is our prod VM now. So let me try to ping non-prod IP as well as dev IP from prod VM. Just take command prompt. So this is a command prompt. Let me try to ping non-prod VM from here. 10.11.0.81. So it is pinging. So non-prod IP is pinging from the prod VM. So let me try to ping this dev VM as well. 12.0.223. So it is also pingable. So we are able to ping both PCs, non-prod PC and dev PC from prod VM. So this is working fine. So now let me log in into non-prod PC. I will take a separate telnet SSH session from here, and even towards dev PC also. So I mean even dev PC also I will take SSH session. So before doing that, let me convert my PM key as a putty compatible key. So let me open putty generator here, and let me just convert that file as a ppk file, downloads and all files. So this is the PEM file. successful, and save private key as S, and just I can put it as tgw mr ppk file it is. So just saving in downloads only. So, and just I would like to copy that file, ppk file, as well as this putty application into this VM. So drag and drop is not working. Let me copy and paste it here. So the putty exe file is copying now, and let me copy this key as well. Copy and paste it here. Alright, now we have file as well as putty application. So let me open this. So key credentials, just browse that file here, ppk. It is available now. So this is my RDP connection, right? So I'm in just I opened putty in RDP only. So let me try to take SSH of this non-prod PC now. So just I browse that key here in session, just type that IP 10.11.0.81. Just open. If we go, yes, it is EC2 user. Enter. So now I'm in non-prod PC. If you observe this, this is the IP address of that PC. So a similar way, let me take the access for dev PC as well. So let me open this here again, and let me check. Still the credential file is there. Now let me browse it again and just open the session. It is 10.12.0.223. Click on OK, accept, and give it as a EC2 user. Here we go. So let me maximize this RDP session now. So let me open the command prompt. So let me keep them side by side so that you can understand. So now this is our prod VPC. So you can check the IP config. Prod VPC VM it is. So now I'm in prod VM, and this is our non-prod VM, and this is dev VM. So let me from prod VM, let me try to ping non-prod VM first. 0.81. So it is reachable. So let me same way, let me ping dev VM 12.0.223. it is also pinging. And let me try from non-prod. So this is our non-prod VM. So let me ping the prod VM. The prod VM IP is 10.10.0.177. it is pinging. So let me check from dev VM now. Ping 10.10.0.177. it is also pinging. So from prod VPC 2 we are able to ping non-prod PC as well as dev PC, and from non-prod PC and dev PC, from both also we are able to reach this prod VM, right? So now let's try This is our non-prod VM and this is our dev VM. So let me try to ping our dev VM from here. So it is not reachable. Similar way, let me try to ping our non-prod VM from here. 10.11.0.81. So it is also not reachable. So that's it guys. Finally we have successfully completed our lab today. So we have created the prod VPC, non-prod VPC, dev VPC and respective VMs, route tables in the VPCs as well as internet gateway. So also we have created transit gateway with multiple routing tables, and we have modified the routing tables accordingly. So we have created attachments, and we have tested the communication from prod to other VPCs and non-prod to dev VPC communication as well. So it is successful. Thank you so much for watching guys. Please subscribe and encourage me for more video creations. Thank you.